Okay guys, this is a heritage breed bird. This was a royal palm. You always hear the expression dark meat and white meat. Well, these heritage breeds, look at the dark. It shows you right here, this is what's called dark meat. This is your white meat on both sides. It's easily definable. You can tell dark meat from white meat. I'm pretty sure that that's where that saying come from, because your store-bought birds that's raised in these big factories don't have this quality about them. That's why we like to stick with our heritage breed animals, because they have dark meat. You can see where it comes all the way around the back right here. Everything above it's white. All this, all white meat down here. I'm actually taking the crawl out right now, because I want to try to make sure I get all that out of there before I ever start. Oh, there we go. I grabbed it too hard. I was trying to keep that from happening, but he's only had corn. We fed him out on corn right here at the end. So let me get all that out of there. We actually didn't feed him this morning, hoping that maybe a lot of that stuff would be out of his system, but as you can see, it is not. He was fed well though. That's one thing about him. We put him up with corn every night. There we go. And then you got that's the hole in the chest cavity there where the crawl was at. See that the neck itself is even dark meat. It's not the same color as the breast meat. You can see the difference in the dark and the white in these heritage breeds. Okay guys, I just cut the vent loose in the back of the turkey. Now I do this on all animals. I would rather, I take a string and I tie it off, because I really don't want anything coming out of it. And I just leave the string kind of just hanging there, because that way I don't have to actually touch anything back there. I can just basically pick the string up. And I do this whether I'm butchering a deer, a pig, or whatever. To me, it's safety. And then I'll just take my knife. I can come right here. I can cut right around through there. And what I do is usually, let me sit back down here. I follow the dark meat line, because to me that's just something that's just wisdom in it. You have to be real careful, because the intestines is just right here in the gizzard. The gizzard usually lays right here in the front, so I'm trying to keep from making sure I'm barely touching this bird. Get around to the other side here. I'll do the same thing there. I'm just trying to lightly touch it. I don't want to get into the intestines. Just the tip of this knife, just barely. I don't want to go too far down, because there's no need in it really. I got enough room there to get my hand in there now. And I'm going to go ahead and cut all this loose, because what we're fixing to look at right here in the front is going to be the gizzard. And the gizzards on turkeys are really nice size. Lots of people, I'm going to try to do this a little bit different, being I got a camera going, but I'm trying to be real easy so I don't puncture an intestine here. Do this. I'm trying to get this gizzard out without making a mess here. Okay, this is the gizzard out of the turkey. It's pretty good size. My hands are pretty big. You see the size of it. So here in a minute, I'm going to show y'all how to actually clean a gizzard if you want to clean one. Alright, we've got the gizzard here now, and y'all probably going to hear some noise in the background. We've got the air conditioner running in here because it's like 90 degrees outside. There's going to be rocks and all kinds of grain, sand and everything else in these gizzards. So I mean, I'm going to take my time and try not to cut into any of that stuff. But you want to just ease around. I actually feel my knife touching the grain. Try to be real easy with it, because I want to be able to get this thing and show y'all. Make sure I'm trying to keep this out of the way. I'm going to just kind of peel this open now. I don't want this to go down my drain, but I'm going to kind of show y'all. This is what it looks like. Now this is corn and sand and rocks and everything that's in the turkey's gizzard. This is what grinds their food, and I'm going to empty this out in the bucket, and then I'm going to show you how you clean a gizzard. Right, we've dumped everything out of it, and you see how kind of yucky looking it is on the inside? This bird is eating a lot of green stuff, so it's kind of turned it a dark color on the inside. Now first thing I'm going to do is turn my water on here, and I'm going to wash this. We're going to make sure we get all the sand and pieces of corn and rock, all that out of it. Make sure it's good and clean. Make sure my hands are good and clean, got no sand on them. Now, to clean a gizzard, it has a lining on the inside of it. This lining will just peel right out of there like a piece of paper. Just take your time. While you're taking your time, just keep working it along. And all this will peel right out of there, just like that. And then you have this lining right here that was between, it's kind of like the lining in your stomach almost. This lining protects all this. This stuff's like leather. And here you have a perfectly clean gizzard now, ready to be washed again. We'll run water over it, clean it, make sure there's no grit. This is perfect for making like giblets and gravy, and some people just like to eat gizzard. So we'll put it in the pressure cooker and cook it down with our stuff to make stock and all out of, so it'll be something good. Okay, now that we've got the gizzard out, I like to come in here. There's some places in here I like to trim. Try to be real easy here. I don't want to cut too much out that I don't need to cut out. But I'll trim that out of the way. And a lot of times I'll put my hand right up under the bird and I'll kind of lift up on him. Now this string we talked about, I'm going to pull that over. And you see what this is for? This makes it real easy here to pull that vent out so that you don't get any waste in here. And I'll just take my time and reach up in here, trying to break that stuff loose up in there. Turkeys are a little bit tougher to fool with than chickens when it comes to this kind of stuff. Their entrails are just a little bit stiffer, and I don't want to break nothing. So I'm being kind of careful. Trying to bring it all out. And there they are. That's all gone. Now we still haven't gotten the liver or anything like that out, so let me try to reach on up in here. I'm trying to be careful because I don't want to bust the gallbladder or anything like that in here. I'll try to bring it out all in one piece so that it looks pretty decent on camera anyway. There we go. Now, some people eat the heart, and there's the heart. We don't particularly care for it ourselves. We get rid of it, and then right here, this is a gallbladder. It's a green color, and you want to kind of be as careful with it as you can. You don't want to bust it, because it definitely is just where it gets its name, gall. It's a green bile, and you want to be as careful with it as you can. It's very difficult to fool with on a turkey because it's, and I'll tell you what I'm going to do to keep from running the risk. It's kind of slippery. I'm going to get my pliers and actually try with my pliers to just snip it right there. I'm going to try to pull it away like that. That way we don't run the risk of contaminating the liver. Okay, I wash my hands because this is the only part of the birds I really ever get any blood on me. So I wash my hands. I'm kind of picky about that. We've got the gallbladder off now. We've got a good, healthy looking liver. It looks good. I don't see any problems with it. It looks fine. No spots on it or anything like that. It looks good. So we'll put that over to be cooked also. And then we're going to come on in here. We're going to show you about the rest of the bird. Okay, we're ready to, we've got the bird cleaned out now. You know, there's nothing left in him but maybe his lungs, and I see one kidney. So we'll take him over to the sink here. Now we're going to take his legs off up here. I usually will cut up kind of high, but we'll clean the legs off over yonder. It's a lot easier to do this part at the sink than it is to do it over here. There is a joint right up at the top. You just take your time. I'm trying not to cut too fast. This bird's kind of heavy. I don't want him to fall out of my hand here. I'm trying to make sure I cut this very easy. Don't want to lose my grip on the bird. Because once this knife goes through right here, he'll fall out of my hand. I'm trying to just make sure well, he didn't lose much weight, I'm going to tell you. First thing we want to do, this is always one of the tougher parts to deal with right here, is especially when you don't scald one. Just trying to get this kind of stuff off. It's kind of slimy, slick. Lightly touching it. I don't want the knife to slip and hit my fingers because I know what will happen. That's basically all there are to it. We'll wash him in a minute, just making sure I got everything. Oh, there's a piece on the back. There we go. All right. Ooh, that air conditioner feels good. Okay. What we're about to embark on is taking this animal apart. Now, what I like to do, you can come right inside their legs right here. And he's done got cold, and rigor mortis has done set up in him bad, so let me see if I can't just get his legs to fold out. There we go. Kind of get that one laid open a little bit. Kind of open this one up a little bit right here. Just over here opened up a little bit. Flip over, he's kind of big for the sink. Trying to stay out of that joint, not dull my knife. There we go. This, my friends, is the size of that. That thing is 12, 13 inches long. That was a big old turkey. Now it's up to Miss Wanda here. We'll cut this off in a minute. I can go ahead and get this bird cut apart. I like to always take off anything that looks undesirable. So what we're going to do here is we like to separate our thighs from our drumsticks. So what I'll do is I'll just come right in here and I'll just start cutting right around. You can almost follow it right here. There's like a line. Trying not to cut too fast to give y'all a little bit of an idea. There's a joint right there. Got to make it look right on camera anyway. There we go. Then you end up with a nice drumstick. Now there's a lot of little tiny bones right in here. You can actually smoke these. You can cook them. Where they are fantastic to eat. But that's, well, how long you say that thing is? That thing's probably 8 to 9 inches long, at least. It's a nice drumstick. Get it in water there, it's kind of drying out, and then we got the whole big thigh. But remember, this is dark meat, guys. Look at the color of it. That's why they call it dark meat. Now this is a heritage breed again. This is not some store-bought, factory-raised turkey. What we're going to do here is we use our meat in such an array of different ways. We use it for stew meat, stir fries. I mean, we just any way you can. So what we're going to do is, it has a bone right down through the center of it here. There's a line right there. Just be careful when you're cutting it. This knife is very sharp. I'm trying to lightly touch it, where I can try to show you all this. Because what we do is we actually take the bone out of our meat a lot of times. That way this meat can be used for lots and lots of different things. Guys, this may look a little difficult just because I'm holding it up like this. I normally would lay it down on something to take this out, but for camera purposes I'm trying to just be light and easy and not cut myself as well. The bone will be used to make bone broth out of. And I try not to leave any more meat on the bone than just absolutely necessary. I guess I'll hold it up this way now. I'm trying to do it where it. There we go. Now we have a bone here. This bone can be used to cook for bone broth. We'll put it in there. And we have our whole slab of meat here. Now there is a gristle right here on the end. I will trim all that out in just a little while, but right now I'm just going to put it over in the pan. Let it rehydrate a little bit because it's kind of drying out with this air conditioner blowing on it. But that, my friend, is how we take a turkey apart on the thighs down here. So I'm going to go ahead and take this other thigh off, get that side done, and then we'll show you the next process. Okay guys, we got the back hind quarters off of the leg quarters, not hind quarters, the leg quarters off. Now comes the time to take the wings off. Now we're going to just ease in here and try to just ease that wing right off of there. Because this right here, that's all there is to it. What we'll do, we'll probably separate them, you know, right here in this area. We're going to come around and separate all this. Makes it a whole lot easier to go in a pressure cooker when we get ready to pressure cook it. There's some good meat on this right here, this part. So we'll probably save this to eat. We'll probably, you know, have some buffalo wings maybe. Be the leg, the wing part of a wing there, the drumstick part of a wing, I guess, however you want to word it. This part right here, you know, we got a little bit of cleaning up left to do on them. Make sure there's no pin feathers and anything like that. That's it. That right there will actually go into the stock making stuff, and there's a lot of meat right in here. That meat will be pulled off the bone and go in our stock to be canned. All right, we're up to the point now where we're gonna try to take the neck out of it. We use the neck for our stock. I like to cut it down in pretty close to the cavity of the bird down in here. I usually will look for a joint in it. The neck can be, whoa, the neck jumped away from me there. The neck can be kind of difficult, but we'll clean it up here in a minute, get any of the loose stuff off of it and, before we actually put it up. But there's lots of work that you have to do to these things. There's just skin that's on them and stuff like that that has to be taken off. But right now we're just trying to get the bird processed, and there we go. I think we're about to get there with it though. A little bit of stuff on it here and there. It's got kind of like a silver skin on it, especially these heritage breeds. And what we'll do is we'll put that in the pressure cooker with the rest of the meat, and we'll pressure cook it and pick the meat off the bone, put it in the broth like we did the rest of it, and can it. Okay, now this part right here can be a little bit more tricky. There's a little bit of cutting to be done. So what we're going to do is we're actually, because we don't leave the bone in the breast, we're going to be deboning the breast while we're here. And I usually will start where the wing bone was at here on the side and work my way down to right here, because you can see the difference between the dark meat and the white meat. You can see the difference. I'm going to work my way right along here to up to where this bone is. Cutting it lightly because we don't want to puncture too deep. Just taking our time, letting the knife follow the bones. There's a rib cage right there. The tip of my knife is just barely staying on the edge of that. We're going to try to get this out from around the bone right here. Up top. Alright, we got that. This is a little more difficult doing this for camera, because I normally would just trying to not cut myself and hold this up at the same time. What you're trying to do is you're trying to let the tip of that knife just touch the bone in there. And that's what you're looking at. See, there's nothing but bone left right there. I'm trying to literally just let the tip of my knife stay right on the bone. Because you don't want to leave much meat on the bone. You want to make sure that you leave as much meat off of the bone. Now, you don't want it on the bone, you want it off the bone. And I'm trying to do this where the camera can pick up and touch it as lightly as possible. Now that we have the breast out, I'm going to lay this right here where maybe we can see it a little better. I'm going to take out, this is what I call the feather. Some people call it the tenderloin of the breast. Let me see if I'm trying to do this. It will peel out by hand. You really don't have to cut it. It'll come out naturally. I call it the feather because it looks like a giant feather. There we go. That's the part I was looking for out right there. It looks like a big giant feather. It's a tenderloin that's inside the breast. The most tender part of the whole bird is right here. Now I do cut this tip off up here. Then we have the breast. We have a big solid piece of breast here. Nice big breast. Put that over in the water. We will do the other side, and just want to take the point of your knife and just run right down through here. Just let it just barely touch it now. As you go down through here, let the point of that knife run right against the bones. There we go. Now, maybe I can lay this out. Now this is that feather that I was telling you about. I call it the feather. It's a tenderloin. It's right in here. You can see the natural line right here where it comes down, right through there. What I try to do is just get it up. It's not hard to get it out of there. It'll do it without cutting it, but I'm trying to do it to cut it just to show you. My hands keep getting in the way of the camera. There, we have that whole tenderloin, or chicken tender, or that's what they're called, but this would be a turkey tender. We're gonna put that over here, let it be cooling down, and then there again we have another breast. Nice white meat to be used and however we can see fit. And you'll see how we pull the skin off of here. You're going to have that when you go back and start cleaning it up before you put it in the freezer. That kind of stuff needs to come off, because all it's going to do is just be tough, and you're going to want to get that kind of stuff off of there. There we go. Now that looks a whole lot better. Okay, we're going to cut through this here. Now this is bone, and this is going to be a little tough to get through here, but this is solid rib cage through here. I'm going to cut through both sides of it, because this, since we've cut the breast off of it, this is just bone, and we're going to use it for bone broth. But usually you can take these birds and you can cut down through the rib cage there. And once you do, a lot of times this will just fold and come out of here. Don't freak out if you have trouble with it, because it can be difficult finding all them joints in the right place and stuff like that. And then we'll come back, we're going to take our pliers. We like to just clean up everything, because there's little particles in here that we don't like in it. We get that kind of stuff out of there. Then we wash it good where the blood is pooled in the chest cavity once we killed it. We'll clean all that up, and then this right here, there's still a good bit of meat left in these places in here, but this will go into the stock pot for cooking for bone broth. Okay guys, these right here are the lungs right here on each side. A lot of people take those out, and there's actually a tool made that reaches in there that will scrape those out. It can be done by hand. It's a little bit more difficult. I'll see if I can get one to happen, and I'll show you. Like that right there. That's the lung. Most people take it out before they cook it. Some people leave it in. Some take it out. We're going to take it out. Just want to kind of show you that a little bit of a process there. I mean, it's not that hard. It's just that they make a tool that you can do this with and get them out. Of course, the lungs look good and healthy. We're going to wash this out, make sure we get as much blood out of it as we can. Clean him up where everything looks a little more presentable. Let's run that down the sink. What I'm doing is I'm picking the last rib of the rib cage, and I'm going to run my knife right down the last rib all the way up in as far as it will go on each side. And then, where these things will come apart, turkey's a little more difficult than chicken is. But we have this part right here. Now there's lots of meat on this. This back part here. We have here, we call this the oyster that lies right inside here on the sides. We cut that out with our thighs just then when we cut it. We took most of the oyster out with it. But you have all this tenderloin meat up in here, all the flank meat and stuff. We'll put this in the pressure cooker. We'll pressure cook it, pick all the meat off, have the bone broth to make our broth with. Then you have this rib cage part right here. We'll do the same exact thing with it. Put it in the pressure cooker, cook it down, pick the meat off the bones, and can the bone broth. Alright guys, this has been an unusual turkey processing video here. We did it a little bit different than we normally do, but for camera purposes and for video purposes, we skinned the bird because there will be some people who skin them. If you're going to dip them in water, you've got to have a very large pot to do that. Okay, and guys, you see on my wall hanging back here, we have some big pots we can do this with, but we're doing just one turkey. So we're not going to get all this out and go through this for one big turkey. Now if we were butchering several, yes, we would have boiled it and picked the feathers off of the meat like we normally would a chicken. But because we're doing the video, for video purposes, we did not do that. Okay, so you've seen the pots. We didn't go that route, and we told you we did it for camera purposes only. But we showed you how we take apart every part of a turkey here at Deep South Homestead and what we use it for. Now there are many different ways out there to butcher a turkey. This was not the only way. As a matter of fact, here we do it several different ways, but for camera purposes and for graphic reasons, we tried to do it as humanely looking as possible with the least amount of blood showing on the video, and I think it turned out to be, I think we did a pretty good job. I normally don't get blood on my hands when I butcher anything, and I was able to successfully do the turkey all except one part in it when I had to take his entrails out. I got a little blood on my hands there when I vesicated him, but I hope that seeing each individual part of the turkey taken apart gives you some ideas about how you can do it. I'm in no wise a professional butcherer. I don't portray to be one. I just know how I've done it for years, and it works for us here at Deep South Homestead. Another reason is we were asked to ship the feathers to a lady for children to use to make writing quills out of, and we wanted to try to make sure we made that happen because we'd like to see other people get blessed also. We're going to take this now and try to get it cooled down and get it in the refrigerator for a little while, and then we're going to get it in the freezer and try to get this stuff taken care of. Alright, we weighed the turkey in the beginning. He weighed 13 pounds. We finished processing him, got him in bags, put him on the scales here and weighed him. We ended up with 9 pounds of turkey left over to use. So I think that's a pretty good ratio. We only lost 4 pounds with the entrails and the feet and the feathers and the skin and all that. So I think that was a pretty good ratio on it. So 9 pounds of turkey, which will make us approximately, Wanda and I looked at each individual part plus the broth. We think we'll end up with somewhere around 12 or 13 meals out of it for me and her, which I think that's a pretty good ratio for one bird to last 2 of us that many meals in the different ways that we will use it. So wanted to let y'all know this part of it so that if you get ready to process a bird, what to expect, how to use it, how much weight loss. We lost 4 pounds out of the bird, so doing it this way. So I mean, if we'd left the skin on, we might would have gained 1 pound, but I don't think that was the case. And because he was a free-range bird, he had no fat on him at all, 0. If we'd have kept him in a pen and kept feed pushed to him, he'd have had a lot of fat in him. So we're kind of thankful that we didn't end up with a whole pile of fat, and we ended up with mostly meat here. Now some of this, I will tell y'all, in the near future, you may see at Deep South Homestead a turkey sausage video coming up, because we might butcher some and make turkey sausage out of it. We don't have the press to make turkey bacon, or we would make some turkey bacon, but because we don't have the press, we have the grinding equipment here behind us, the commercial grinding equipment, but we don't have the kit that goes with the Cabela's one to make the turkey bacon out of, or we would do that. But maybe in the future, who knows? At Deep South Homestead, we may actually purchase that and make some turkey bacon in the future. So thank y'all from Deep South Homestead.